trying hard to make you see all that you are is all that I need. I know that it's a secret and I gotta keep it, but I want the lights on. Yeah, I want the lights on, and I don't wanna run away anymore. Leave the lights on, leave the lights on. I know that it's a secret and I gotta keep it, but I want the lights on. Yeah, I want the lights on, and I don't wanna run away anymore. Leave the lights on, leave the lights on, leave the lights on. Lights on, lights on.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is a quick voice check. I believe the music's a bit too loud. Let me go ahead and adjust that. Let me know if you guys can hear me a-okay. In the meantime, please go ahead, hit that like button, hit the subscribe, etc, etc. While we wait, it helps out a lot. We will be starting in around 5 to 7 minutes. Let's do a Monday morning special on the music, shall we? Bob's like, I know the song is from a Disney movie. You think, buddy? You think?
And the spirit of love call Mamela. There's no mountain too great. Hear these words and have faith. Have faith. He lives in you. He lives in me. He watches over everything we see. Into the water, into the truth. In your reflection, it lives in you. Blinking, step into the sun. There's more to see that can never be seen. More to do that can never be done.
There is far too much to take in here, more to find that can never be found. But the sun rolling high through the sapphire
My oh my oh my, man, that song gets me in the fields every freaking time. Every time. Whew. Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Sean Dexter and welcome you back to the Mango Grove for your daily live stream. My oh my, it's going to be a great freaking week ahead of us. We're about to close a monthly as well. And guess what, guys? Guess what? Things are beginning to get really, really interesting. Wait, am I still muted? No way. Am I still muted? No way. It doesn't say I'm muted. Wait, I'm gonna wait. Is it delayed? Alright, cool. We had to start that way though. We had to start that way. It's not a mango start unless I'm muted. So shall we do that again? Shall we do that again? Should we redo the intro? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Sean Dexter. Welcome you back to the Mango Grove for your daily freaking live stream. We're about to start a new month. I hope you guys had a great freaking weekend. I hope you guys have a great week ahead of you. It is time to freaking trade because things are getting really, really interesting. The charts are looking juicy. I haven't felt this excited in a very, very long time. And Bob kind of touched on why in the live chat. It's more so because it's finally become a trader's market, right? Going into this bull market, we did talk about how I'm probably going to be outperformed. I'm probably going to get outperformed by a lot of the perma bulls who just buy as much as they can on 50x leverage and just hold, right? I'm gonna get outperformed, but now's the time that actually separates the hopium from the actual trading, and we are seeing some really interesting things on the charts that even have me a little bit I wouldn't say confused, but I have mixed feelings. Yes, I have mixed feelings on what we are seeing over here. My Bitcoin looking interesting, Cardano looking interesting. So we're going to be talking about only Bitcoin and Cardano as our focus for today's video. We will take a look at like Ethereum, Link, etc., on request, but today's focus is going to be Bitcoin and Cardano. So what do you guys want to start with? Do you guys want to start with Bitcoin or do you guys want to start with Cardano? Because I think I have a feeling as to what you guys are going to be saying. What's the plan, guys? I'm seeing Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. A lot of Bitcoins in there. Mark's like BitConnect. All right. I knew it. I knew it. All the hopium boys are out of the chat. And people who are in here know what's important. And it is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still king. Many of you who used to believe otherwise now believe that Bitcoin. I'm not saying that this is always going to be the case. But once again, Bitcoin has proven that it is the arbiter of market sentiment, right? Yes, in the midterm small movements, Bitcoin could do whatever and all coins will have those big moves regardless, but when the big moves on Bitcoin come, all coins will react and react spectacularly, as we've seen. That being said, Cardano has my eye, and you guys know that I'm not a fan of any particular altcoin. So this is a completely unbiased perspective on Cardano that we will be going through, but we will be starting with Bitcoin. We will keep our focus on the high time frames on today's video, mostly the weekly and the 4-day. All right, we're going to be talking about that. We will also be touching on the monthly, not touching, we'll take a look at the monthly. I do want to talk about the monthly tomorrow because the close will be tomorrow, and today we may see some action that may change the monthly a tad bit around, but not too much for it to matter that much, right? Either way. Quick note, by the way, you guys see this over here? For those of you who missed the prior stream on Friday, right, going into the weekend, you guys missed a presentation, an impromptu presentation on risk management, where we discussed this on slides. Actually, I may have the slides up over here. Let me just quickly yeah, right over here actually. Yeah, so we did do an impromptu stream presentation on the stream, and we went through these slides over here really quickly. It ended up being like a good 1 hour talk, I believe. So the reason I'm mentioning it on today's stream as well is primarily because I want you guys to tell me if you guys enjoyed that, right? If many of you enjoyed that kind of content, I'm willing to put in the effort to do that more often. Now, that took a lot out of me, but at the same time, I like the challenge. It's going to help me improve as well. So let me know though in the comments down below, not in live chat because I can't keep up with it. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys enjoyed it, as well as hit the like button as another way to let me know that you guys enjoyed that kind of presentation, that impromptu presentation, and I will do more of those. I will put in the effort to do more of those. So yeah, hit the like button before we get started, and yeah, let me go ahead and see who we have here though in the live chat. We have Krisha, we have Mark. How's it going, Krisha? How's it going, Mark? Bob is in here as well. Good to see you in here. It's been a while. Tan, how's it going, buddy? Remind me to answer your questions from the private C chat in today's stream. We will be talking about that anyways, but yeah, Saskia and Siddharth is in here. How's it going, Siddharth? Who else? Zishan. Hey, Zishan, been a while, if you are the same Zishan. And Obina, of course, my favorite. AJ Smalls is in here as well. All right, cool. So with that, oh, Swag is in here. I just want to give a shout out to all my favorites. Lindika, all of you are my favorite. I love you all, but we should start. Okay, cool. Let me go and find my chart. All right, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. Okay. I do want to start with a fresh chart, but these horizontals over here are okay. They are as important. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and reduce my music a tad bit. Cool. So we're going to be focusing on the weekly and the 4-day, because that's going to set the tone as to when we actually start getting aggressive on our trades, all right, towards the upside. Until a few things happen, I will not be getting aggressive on any of my trend trades. For that matter, I won't be taking any trend trades. I will literally be trading the range. Now, we touched on a particular topic 2 streams ago where we discussed, and I'm going to be reiterating that concept over here. We discussed how everything, whether you're trading support and resistance or whether you're trading everything stems from trend. Right? Chart trend in one of 3 ways. You can break it down into this: either a bullish trend, a bearish trend, or a neutral trend, right? That's the way I break down my trading strategies. As soon as we go into a neutral or consolidation trend, and you identify that, you want to be trading the ranges. When you're in a bull trend, you want to be trading in the bullish direction. When you're on the bear trend, you want to be trading in the bearish direction. And the reason for that, guys, is because you are adding probability onto your side. Okay, now yes, you can go ahead and try to get cute and try to get sweet and trade bearish over here and feel really smart, right? Feel really smart about catching this move towards the downside, right? But you are not trading in that, in my opinion, at the very least, you're not trading at that in that regard. What you're really doing is being more of a gambler, and you're taking probability away from your long-term success. Because at the end of the day, your real success comes from your long-term success, not how well you do in a month or how well you do in a week, right? So you can try and get smart and win over here, but in the long run, if you're trading bearish, right? Let's say you are a perma bear and you're trading bearish on Bitcoin during this zone over here, how often were you actually able to pull off your trades? Now you could say, oh yeah, I won here, I won there, I won here, but at the end of the day, just looking at the charts alone, you can just see it was easier to be a bull. And that's all it comes down to, guys. You don't have to be smart. You can try and show the whole world that you are smart in the market and you've caught the very right moments to be bearish, right? but it doesn't really help you in the long run. It doesn't help your account grow. It doesn't help your future progress and compounding your growth. It just helps you feel good about yourself, and that's not really what you're looking for over here. So that entire rant is to essentially reinstill in all of you that once you've identified a bull trend, try to trade bullish. Once you've identified a downtrend, try to trade bearish. Once you've identified sideways, you want to be trading that sideways movement. And that really is best done once you understand how to trade options. But again, it can still be done by trading the ranges, right? Okay, so what's Bitcoin doing? Well, Bitcoin was doing this first, right? It was clearly going in an uptrend. So trading bullish during this entire time was, of course, the strategy to employ. When was the time to start questioning whether you should be trading bullish? Well, as soon as we went into consolidation and failed to be breaking towards the upside. And if you guys do remember, we started we stopped looking at Bitcoin once we broke this zone over here, right, on the lower mid time frames. So that was around a time where Bitcoin's uptrend was beginning to be questionable, and now we are on a full-on downtrend on the mid and even on the higher time frames. So what was the concept that we discussed? When we break down a structure, okay, let's say we put in a structure. Let me do that again. Let's say we put in a structure, consolidation, structure, consolidation, structure. Consolidation, impulsive move, consolidation, impulsive move. And then we break down, we fail to continue, and we break down. What are we expecting the market to do? Well, we're expecting the market to hold its previous structure at the very least for a continuation. So in this regard, right, you'd have a deep pullback, especially if the trend is aggressive on your impulsive move. It means that you're having a deep pullback onto the previous structure, and then you're seeing continuation. What happens if you don't break, or you don't hold the structure and you break into the structure instead? Well, now you're range bound over here. You're range bound within the previous structure, and you've gone into consolidation. You've lost your bullish trend. Perhaps now in a bearish trend, you're threatening a bearish trend on the high time frames, and you've definitely gone on over to a bearish trend on the lower time frames relative to the trend that you're looking at, right? So for example, over here, let's say we're looking at the monthly time frame or the weekly, and you've done this on the daily time, or you've broken on the weekly time frame into the structure here. So let's say here we're looking at the weekly. We are definitely in a downtrend on the daily time frame, right? So that's essentially what has happened, right? Bitcoin, wait, I'm going to go ahead and delete everything. Bitcoin had a structure that we were looking at initially before we broke into the 50k zone. We had impulsive move, and we put in a new structure that we can now mark out over here on the weekly time frame. Now we've broken that structure as well, right? So essentially, let's go ahead and mark this: consolidation, consolidation, structure, breakdown. Okay, let's clear up the chart a little bit. We don't need the upper structure at the moment. Well, we definitely don't need the upper resistance line. We need the lower resistance line, right? So what has Bitcoin done? You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and remove this for now too. Bitcoin, and let me confirm that you guys can hear me. Bitcoin has essentially broken back into its previous structure right over here. Okay, I've removed all the other lines just to keep it clear for you guys as to what is going on. Bitcoin has broken into the structure, tested the bottom of the structure, respected it. That's a good sign. But the best sign would have been, or rather, I wouldn't say best sign, better than good at the very least, is if we closed above the upper resistance level of the structure as well, right? Which is something Cardano has actually done. I'll go ahead and show that to you guys on the other chart when we switch to Cardano. Bitcoin, unfortunately, broke into the structure, and it closed within the structure. First bad sign. Second bad sign was that the next weekly, the following week, tested the upside of the structure, rejected it, that's a rejection wick, and confirmed within the structure. So now you have your close and confirmation within the structure. So in my view right now, Bitcoin is range bound between the structure right over here. 38,000 towards the upside, 38,500 towards the upside, and 31,700-ish. Okay, I've not placed these horizontals perfectly. You can do a lot better, of course, but let's say 31,000, 32,000-ish, right? Just round off. We're talking about big numbers over here, so it doesn't really matter. Bitcoin is stuck within there. we are no longer even in a weekly uptrend, right? Some people are saying, by the way, that this is the high low that Bitcoin needs to be defending to hold its weekly uptrend. I don't look at it that way at all. I don't. And these are some traders that people have, because I've had discussions via PM with some people, and people are showing me other people's videos, and they can everything's, you guys need to understand, no one's wrong in their interpretation of the markets, right? No one's wrong. Okay, it's just, all that matters is you staying true to your interpretation and trading it consistently. Again, remember, okay, because all that matters is your consistent performance. You cannot expect your strategy and your method to win every single time. So let's say I am disagreeing with the fact that the weekly held its uptrend. Let's say I'm disagreeing with that, right? I could be wrong on this one scenario, and I'm fine with being wrong. I may lose money on being wrong. I may lose opportunity on being wrong. But I am okay with that, with me being wrong, because I know that out of, let's say we have a set over here, right? These are all scenarios of trades, trade opportunities. I know that in the long run, I just need enough of these to be right to make me a profitable trader, okay? Not a majority of them, enough of these. Why do I say enough? Because even if I get, let's say we have 10 over here. I'm not sure how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, let's say we have 10, right? Even if I get 8 of these wrong, if 2 of them are enough to make up for those 8 and then some, I'm profitable, right? That's all that matters. So you pick your strategy and stay consistent with it, because you're not going to be right every single time, guys. Okay, and that's why risk management is so important, because you cannot count on being right every single time, because you're not going to be right every single time. There's no freaking way, okay? So you have to be okay being wrong and just live with it, okay? So we've broken back into structure. In my opinion, the high low, we had a high low here. We put in a high here. This could also be looked as a high low, but doesn't matter because we lost them both. Right? And that's why I told you guys that those 2 lows were the line in the sand for me when it came to Bitcoin's uptrend. We lost them both. So we're broken both. We're within the previous freaking structure that we broke out of. Right? Are you guys following me thus far? If you guys are liking this kind of explanation and this kind of content, as opposed to me just telling you guys, oh, we're going up, we're going down, hit the like button. Show me that you guys actually enjoy this kind of content by hitting the like button. Or I could just do what every other YouTuber does and just says, yep, we're going up, yep, we're going down. And just go with the flow depending on what sentiment is. All right, so across Canada says we are going sideways, so we are going into a sideways movement. Yes, on the higher time frames for now, until we see confirmation for the next leg down. Now this is where it gets really tricky, right? Because remember what I've been talking to you guys about, right? We have been up, trends move in, impulsive moves, consolidation, impulsive moves, consolidation, impulsive moves, consolidation. And when you do break down, this breakdown is a downtrend on the lower time frame, right? Which then may form into a bear flag and continuation onto the higher time frames, right? So now you've established a downtrend on your higher time frame as well. But now here's where it gets really interesting, because now you may have all of this happening within a much higher time frame. What if this entire leg, guys, that I'm drawing here, let's color it into one big green candle or multiple green candles, right? And this leg over here on the weekly that we just drew as a downtrend, we color that too. What do we have? We have a bull flag on the higher time frame, right? On the monthly perhaps, on the 3-month perhaps. So you have to understand that everything can be broken down into trends, and trends ranging within trends, right? So over here we just showed a weekly downtrending within a monthly range. right? You guys see it. Everything can be broken down into something as simple as this, and you play the trend. So why am I always leaning towards looking for macro bull trades on Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin, god damn it guys, is in a, it's not because I'm like a blind love of Bitcoin, even though I follow the fundamentals. As soon as it breaks certain levels, I'll be out of Bitcoin as well, right? But Bitcoin, guys, is in a macro freaking, and again, before going into this year, right, 2021, we talked about all of this when Bitcoin was at 10,000. We said, let's get ready. Bitcoin will be moving amounts that it's multiples of the amounts it's sitting at in dollar value today. When it was sitting at 10,000, I'm like, Bitcoin's going to move. We're going to have days where it moves $10,000 a single day, right? So get ready for that. Why? Because we understood that Bitcoin's macro trend is bullish, right? And we can trade it for these exponential gains. Stepping behind and looking at the bigger picture while everyone else in this market is getting sucked into the lower time frames, into these daily moves, is what has always given Mango the edge, right? So I hope you guys are understanding what I'm talking about over here. Okay. Because remember, at any time, the higher time frames may step in and take over the lower time frames, and the monthly time frame may step in and take over the weekly, right? And this also pertains towards the other way, right? If we are in the monthly downtrend, it doesn't matter if the weekly is going into an uptrend, because the monthly will step in and push the weekly back down. All right. Okay, cool. So now the question is, across Canada, okay, going back to what he said, we're going to sideways movement. So now within this range that we're sitting in right here on the weekly time frame, right, you can break down the weekly into days. You can break down the days into 4 hours, right? You can break down the 4 hour time frames to 1 hour. Within that, you now know that the weekly is range bound, right? You now know the weekly is range bound between 39,000-ish and around 31,500. So now you can play the daily within that range of sideways. You can just stay consistent and be like, you know what, my strategy for this entire range is to simply trade support and resistance. I will be buying around 32,000 and I will be selling at 38,000. I'll be buying at 32,000, sell at 38,000. Keep doing that until when? Until the weekly breaks its range. Because the daily may go and live above, but the weekly needs to break there, because until that happens, you don't know that the weekly is broke. We are still range bound, period. Until that happens, we are still range bound, and you don't want to be breaking the edge that you have. As soon as you trade otherwise, as soon as you trade out of that strategy, you're losing your own edge. And on Friday, we discuss how important edge is, right? Okay, so on the lower time frames now, we are range bound. The weekly, however, and this may happen over a period of weeks, may happen. I don't think it happens this week, but I think within the next like 2 or 3 weeks, we can start looking for it. We may either break this towards the upside or break this towards the downside, okay? If we break this towards the downside, well, what's this going to look like? It's going to look like range, 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 breakdown, right? So we've had breakups, breakups, breakups. The first breakdown, range, breakdown, range, breakdown, range. Now, of course, I'm exaggerating. I wouldn't be expecting Bitcoin to go all the way down there, but we don't know anything. That's how we trade at Mango. We don't know anything. We trade with the trend. As soon as Bitcoin starts doing that, well, we'll just go with the trend. That's why trend trading is so has risk management embedded in it, right? It's another layer of risk management, because yes, you may not catch the bottom. Yes, you may not catch the top, but you're always trading in the direction of the market. You can never ever get perma-wrecked unless you over leverage, etc., etc. Again, that's another deep conversation. Can't talk about everything pertaining to risk management in this stream. Okay, so now the question is, does Bitcoin break its weekly down or does it break its weekly up? We have to sit and wait. Until then, there are trading opportunities, and we can look though. We can look for clues as to whether or not Bitcoin is more likely to break down or break up now in the following weeks. Okay? Okay? You guys get it? By the way, Mango Research, you can control click and drag the mouse on TradingView to select multiple drawings and delete them or change colors. Yeah, I know that, man. It's easier to use the object tree. Why don't you guys have crypto payment for Mango? We do have crypto payment for Mango Research. Everything can be paid with crypto, man. It's just that we don't have so actually I don't know whether there's no way to actually automate the payment with crypto. Probably there is a way, using Lightning Network, for example, but just easier to do it manually, right? And we are too lazy to build a marketing page for, like, you know, it's if you are interested in paying with crypto, just contact me or Krisha. Let's put it that way. Like, I need someone to help with like all this admin marketing kind of stuff, because I'm not interested in any of that, guys. What I want to do, right, is just I just want to teach. That's all I want to do. If somebody else can handle everything else, that'd be awesome. And there's only so much Krisha can do as well, right? So Ollie, the reason I don't reach out and hit the use the control too often, control click too often, is because the mic is in my way, right? Okay, cool. So let's go. Let's continue this conversation, okay? Because this is really important, because there's opportunity that stems from all this. So now we know, right? Now we know that the weekly is back in the range, and I call it I call this the Elon negation, all right, or the Elon paradox. Do you guys remember what caused this breakout of this range over here? Right? Do you guys remember what caused the breakout of this range over here? Elon on Twitter changed his Twitter description to hashtag Bitcoin, right? I can't. That's my handwriting. And that eventually led to a break towards the upside, where it got rejected, right? We had a rally towards the upside, and then Tesla announced that they accumulated Bitcoin, and then we broke towards the upside, right? So all of this ended up just being distribution. Then we had the Elon episode again, right? Right? You guys are seeing how we have a catalyst to the fundamentals and the catalyst towards the downside as well. Elon announced that he's no longer, or rather Tesla is no longer going to be accepting Bitcoin as transactions. And we had this breakdown over here because Elon's unhappy with Bitcoin. And I think, by the way, that's the fact that the community is giving him so much attention, it's actually bothering me. Like, having these kind of voices, like, I'm not going to get into that. There's a lot of drama with Bitcoin recently, with the mining council and people questioning whether it is foundational to Bitcoin as a decentralized community to even have something like that. So that it's really interesting to hear both sides of the debate over there. But we can talk about all of that towards the end of today's stream. So yeah. All we've done right now is we've come and not all we've done, it's pretty significant. We've broken back down into the Elon range. But this structure over here, right, regardless of whether you know the news that caused it, etc., it's really more of a technical structure than it is Elon doing any of it, right? That's why I really don't like people blaming Elon for it, even though it just comes out in the conversation. All we've done is we've had a range here. Let me go ahead and find a clean spot. You're going to see this often, guys. You'll have a support structure, a resistance structure that you're trading in between, right? You break it, you test it, you break, you move on over to the next level, right? And now you consolidate, break, and instead of seeing continuation, this breakout is a little bit premature, or rather does not see its full leg of an impulsive move. It's only a half leg, right? So you're essentially within the middle of the range for the next range, and then you end up coming and having a more of a distributory rounded structure, right? You guys understand how I talk about we look for a rounded structure towards the upside? Well, if you flip the chart around, this is very similar. You have a rounded structure, and then you come back and live within the range again, right? So it ends up being a failed breakout, in my opinion. And in my opinion, that was essentially what Bitcoin did. It was a failed breakout out of 50,000, and we are back in to the range over here, into the 38,000 range. Now, if Bitcoin can do two things, okay, two things, not one of two things. I was about to say one or two things. Two things. We need to first, when I say we, referring to Bitcoin, break back inside that range. So there's two regions to this range that matters on the weekly. So we need to first take back this zone over here around 45,000, and then we need to take back the breakdown point at around 52,000-ish, 50,000. If Bitcoin can break back inside there, as well as establish a higher low, right, and then a higher high. So first step, break, B stands for break, into range. Second step, higher low on the higher time frames, right? So what you're looking for is a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? So first the higher low, so I should remove this here, and then the higher high, right? So first step, break into the range to get bullish again, or start getting ready to get bullish again. Second step, high low, high high. In fact, this is more important than even this, right? We may be able to see part 2 without getting part 1, right? If the structure takes a while to formulate. Does this make sense to you guys? Don't hate Elon, hate the game. Well said. Well freaking said. Or just play the game. Don't hate anything. Just play the game is better. Dalvinder saying that, hi Sean, I hope you had a great weekend, rested well. Yeah, I had a really nice weekend, man. I feel very rested. Thank you for asking, man, and thank you for being so polite. it's so refreshing to see people so polite. Okay, so that's what we're looking for Bitcoin to do to get bullish. Until then, simply trade the ranges, or we'll get bearish if we start breaking down towards the lower side, because there's a range trade over here towards the downside from 31,000-ish all the way down to freaking 20,000. The next range is 20,000, guys. So if we do break down, right, let's talk about that. I'm looking at this zone over here. It's really imperative that the bulls look to defend this zone over here. I'm not a bull over here, right? I'm not a bull over here. If I'm watching to see what they do. If they don't defend the zone over here on the weekly time frame, I'll be looking all the way down to 20,000, and then I'll stop being bearish once we get to 20,000, and then I'll look for our next step, right? Now here's where it gets really interesting. Okay, I do want to talk about a few things. Let's go ahead and let's talk about. Let's look at the oscillators. Let's look at the weekly oscillator and see what's going on here. How are they looking like to you? Someone mentioned to me that there's a bullish divergence within between I believe 42,000, yeah, right here, 45,000 and here. Is there bullish divergence, guys? I'll leave that for you guys to answer really quickly. Is there bullish divergence? Could there possibly be bullish divergence? Like, especially seedlings who watch the momentum oscillator module. Is there freaking bullish divergence? Right? There's no bullish divergence. There's no possible way that you can have bullish divergence between this point and this point over here. You've made a low on the oscillators, you've made a low on price. There's no way you can have bullish divergence, right? And even if you were looking for bullish divergence, it's too early to say, hey, it's triggered, because you don't know. You don't know where the price is stopping here or not. You need to start seeing a little bit more rounded formation, probably take out the high over here at 41,000-ish, and then you can start looking for the trigger on your bullish divergence. Over here, there is no bullish divergence. Now, you could actually say there is potential for bullish again. Remember our stream on Friday. Potential is a key word, and see how it comes out of me very naturally now. It didn't happen automatically, by the way. I had to train myself, right? Potential for bullish divergence, if you're looking at the right time period, of course, between this area here and this area here, right? Potential for bullish divergence. If we start seeing that rounded formation, if we talk about all the ranging formation that we talked about, on the lower time frames, we'll probably be going sideways, put in an ascending triangle, put in some kind of W structure, doesn't really matter. And then taking out this high over here, right, you'll see the break of that ascending triangle in the lower time frames. When I say lower time frames, I'm referring to the daily, 2-day, etc. Break of the ascending triangle, and then take out the wick at around 41,063. You have your trigger right there for your bullish divergence on your weekly time frame. And then we can start looking for our next move to perhaps, not much, 47,000, 49,000. So perhaps a $5,000 to $10,000 move from there, indicating what? That the bulls have a lot of work to do to prove overall confidence, right? Because yeah, we'll probably come in here, that's still a low high. The faster this happens, the more likely it gets sold into, because trend traders like me are gonna be like, that's a low high, I'm selling into it, right? So low high, and then maybe lower low, who knows, right? We don't know. Or lower high, higher low to test the structure again, and then higher high, and then we're like, I'm buying that dip. Get it? Right? This is how you formulate your story. All right, cool. Next thing to talk about, next concept. Now, there's a lot more that I'd love to talk about on the weekly time frame, but we're already 45 minutes in, and I haven't even touched on the 4-day, and I still have to talk about Cardano, guys. Okay, so let's talk about the 4-day time frame. This is the time frame that I'll be keeping a very close eye on. It is the mango time frame. It's a time frame that has led us to most of our massive wins. Do you guys remember this trade, right? And honestly, guys, if we had just followed, if we had, I really need to sit back and condemn myself a lot over here, because if we had just not lost focus on Bitcoin, right? I do want to turn on the Ichimoku template, right? And because it was Julian, and Julian isn't here in today's stream, or I may have missed him. Julian, if you are here, you actually brought it up in the C chat, right? So those of you who are paying attention, well, I was paying attention too, but I did not trade it, right? We talked about this, right? We specifically had a discussion on this, that hey, the big trigger is when we lose the 10K 21 EMA on the 4-day time frame, right? We've literally had this trade edge going on for us for such a long time. Like, we traded over here, we traded over here, we traded over here, right? It's such a good trade to just keep taking over and over again. But the flip side's true as well, right? Break it, you trade towards the downside, and we specifically looked for that edge to edge trade. The C-span trade from the Tenkin towards the Kijun if we got that 4-day break. And we did get the 4-day break. We did get the retest too. That was a good trade to take. I just wasn't in the right mindset to be taking any short trades at all on Bitcoin. And but if I was not in the right mindset to take those short trades on, and this is some reflecting, by the way, that I can discuss with you guys that I've done over the weekend. All right. So I was really asking myself these questions. I'm like, I saw this trade, okay? Really conflicting feelings, and that's what trading is really. That's where trading can be a real struggle, right? Because once you understand the technical analysis, it's no longer the TA that comes in your way anymore. It's really the psychology of what you need to do and what you end up doing that is the way that comes in the way. You end up being your hurdle towards success, right? It's so true, guys. I'm telling you, right? You are the only thing stopping you from making a shitload of money in these markets. It is a lot easier to do in terms of the mechanical aspect than you would think. It's really, or everything else that we talk about. Again, why I spent so much time in the beginning of the seed program on these freaking concepts, right? But let's talk about what I had to reflect on this weekend. Over this weekend, right, I was thinking about this, right? We broke down, we've come all the way down. This was expected. Now, I told myself that I was not going to trade bearish on Bitcoin. So why am I conflicted? What's bothering me about what happened over here that I did not take advantage of? What's bothering me? And I kept thinking about it, and then I realized that on my altcoin trades, right? Because I started trading during this time, guys. If you do remember, Cardano had a really nice run. Rune, we had some really good profits. What was bothering me was that I was in conflict with how my direction was being traded on my altcoins, which is why I was so on the edge with my altcoin trades, right? Which is why I was so ready to pull the trigger and be so careful with my altcoin trades. So subconsciously, it all came out with the way I reacted when, do you guys remember, we saw Cardano break its structure and we got out, right? But I didn't do that for all the rest of my altcoins. Now, Cardano was a huge position, right, which we built over a long time, so I was quick to get out of that one. For my positions on, for example, Rune, etc., we got the bounce and we got out. But what if I didn't get the bounce, right? And this is where I say luck plays a huge role, right? And I am telling myself now that I got lucky. I freaking got lucky on those altcoin trades that bounced, right? Because Bitcoin had that massive dump. We got out on Cardano early. That was a good exit. But because I did not really sit down and come to terms with my read on the market and how I was trading it, I could have got into trouble, right? I could have lost Bitcoin, right? I end up coming out ahead, but that was freaking pure luck. And this is where, you hear the cliche phrase that I really love, by the way, even though it's a cliche. This is where preparation meets luck, right? Where you prepare, and you have the skill and you know what to do when luck actually comes your way. We knew to sell into it. We knew to take those profits. We knew to get out. We knew how to react and take advantage of that luck. Luck matters in the market. Luck strikes on people, yes, right? Just like how lightning strikes, luck strikes, right? But if you don't know what to do when luck strikes, it's useless, right? So yes, I was able to, this is the crux of what I'm trying to say. I was able to take advantage of luck that struck, but I could have not gotten lucky, right? I can't rely on getting lucky. So that was a little bit of soul searching I did this weekend that I will not put myself, I have to make sure that I don't end up in that situation again, right? I don't end up in that situation again. I'm sorry, guys. I just ranted. I don't even know whether, that was useful to you guys. Jesus. Jethro Peter says the title implicates that we are in a bear market. How does it implicate that? It says, are we in a bear market? It's a question, man. I'm asking you, just answer. Unless I'm misunderstanding what you're saying. Wayne Brown says, I also exited on the bounce, but the bounce was a normal phenomenon. No, you don't know that. So the bounce it's not okay. It was expected. The bounce was expected, right? You can trade for the bounce, yes, but you don't know for sure, right, that that's going to happen. And why? If you can avoid being in that situation to begin with, if you had the read, if you had the subconscious read, right, you could have avoided being in that situation to begin with, right? Is what I'm trying to say. You could say that the bounce was expected because people are taking profits and people come in to buy the dip, etc., etc. But selling into the bounce, knowing to sell into the bounce, is really, really important. And two, what if people don't take profits at those levels? What if it was a major event, right? What if it wasn't just something as small as Elon saying something, or what if there was a bug in Bitcoin's code, right? It could be so many things, man. It could be so many things. You don't know that a bounce is going to come. If you can avoid being in the situation where you need to sell into a bounce, you should avoid being in that situation. Dude, those bounces were ridiculous, man. I'm not sure whether like you were selling into the same kind of bounces I was selling into. Let's go find Rune BTC. Look at that bounce. No, you're not even seeing it over here, actually. Let's go. It never really got back, right? Where was the breakdown? Where's the breakdown? Right here. Yeah, there. It's still not back there, right? Look at that bounce. Look at that bounce. That was a freaking gift, right? Like, you literally were able... that was a 40% bounce, man. Like almost immediately. Like, you don't know whether you're going to... And if you miss that, it's still not trading back there. Still not trading back there, right? And you can see how people pounced on that. You can see how people pounced on that. And once you miss it, you can see how the rest of traders just gave up on it coming back. And that's how you guys need to trade, by the way. Don't hope for like, so you see these guys over here who all sold after missing this bounce, or maybe they had a little bit left, hoping to see, or just looking to see, not hoping, looking to see if we actually continue and reverse, right? Well, they didn't hold on to it. They're like, ah, this is done, and they sold. And what they did was the right thing. You can see that's how downtrends form. People start selling the low highs. They don't wait for high. New traders wait for price to come back here, right? And that's their new benchmark. Once it comes back here, I'll sell. And then it doesn't come back there. It comes here. They're waiting for it to continue. It doesn't continue, and it goes back lower. So now it's sitting here. Now they're waiting for this as their new point to sell. And they're waiting for it to come there, but it doesn't come there. Where does it go? Or it comes here, right? And they're waiting for it to continue. It doesn't continue. Instead, it goes lower. Now they shift their new sell to here. And there's bag holding the entire time. And then eventually, when it does reverse, they don't have anything to buy with because they're holding a bag. But we went off track. The things I want to talk about on the 4-day, guys. Bitcoin. Let's go. Tan says, Sean, I posted my question on the monthly red candle above. Okay, cool. You know what? Let's talk about the 4-day, right? I think it'll tie into your question, Tan. It'll tie into your question. So 4-day and then the monthly, and then we can wrap up the video. Swag says, I'm learning so much. Like, actually, thank you. Hey, man, I'm glad you're learning, buddy. I'm glad you're learning. This is a time to be a learner, right? This is why I always tell people that the bear markets are, or I'm not saying we're in the bear market, but these kind of phases, right? At least these bearish phases are the best learning to be had. Am I in an ADA trade at all now? No, I'm not in any Cardano trade. Okay, so guys, what are we looking for on 40 Bitcoin, by the way, is looking garbage, right? This looking garbage. There are some signs that we can look for now for bullish signs, but to be honest, this is a garbage chart. This is freaking garbage. Weekly isn't looking any better, but the 40 is really important to me. The 40 is not looking good over here. Same concept. Broken back into the range, right? So I don't want to go over all of this again. You can apply that to any time frame. You can apply what I talked about at the beginning of the video to any time frame. 40 is broken back into the range. But we were looking for something in particular, right? We're looking for the Kijun to hold. Did we hold the Kijun? No, we did not. We've closed inside the Kijun, underneath the Kijun. Now we're looking like we're about to retest it. It'll be interesting to see whether or not we come and retake this Kijun level over here. If we do retake this Kijun level, I may cut some slack. Because this close happened over the weekend. So either way though, right? You can't ignore this. It's a 4-day time frame. It's a 4-day time frame. Was it so much to ask for the bulls to close the weekly about 37,000? Sorry, the 4-day about 37,000? I don't think so. The weekly would have looked a lot better too if they did that. So I don't think I'm going to cut some slack. This is not looking good to me at all. Now, is this a death sentence? No, because we have lost the 4-day Kijun before as well, but you traded towards the downside either way. Now, there's something else, by the way, and this is a quick sneak peek for all of you who onto the C program. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the 4-day Mango Dynamic, and this is the new version of the Mango Dynamic that will be coming out. I was supposed to post it over the weekend, but my code, I was doing code cleanup, and my code is a lot messier than I'm always really messy because I use a lot of comments. So I want to be I want to clean up a tad bit more, make it a little bit more readable with the options menu, etc, etc. And something really interesting happened over here too that I did not like. The fact that we closed one candle underneath this the upper layer of the Mango Dynamic on the 4-day time frame, and now I was looking for the next 4-day candle to close above, and it looked like we had a chance of doing that. You can see how we wicked above, right? During that wick, the candle is green, right? During the wick, the candle's green. So try to visualize, guys, what the candle looked like during that time. Do this as an exercise going back in time, and you'll get to live through the emotions of the traders during that period. So what does that just end up being? That just ended up being an opportunity for people to sell into, right? That just ended up being, again, the order flow. If you guys are in the C program, order flow module right here, push the price up, got the liquidity, sold into it, drive it back down. So I'm not liking the look here at all, but again, we are blue, right? Blue means that, okay, we are still in consolidation. We've gone to consolidation mode, ranging. This is not turned red just yet, which is some solace, but I'm still not liking the look overall. Once we start closing above here, well, that'll be a good start. That will be a good start in terms of 4-day dynamic beginning to look good again. I do want to talk about some of the new features over here. Now we have integrated something that was going to, it wasn't a separate product per se, but it was something I was going to go give away for free to the seedlings. As let's put it this way, it's new and improved. And there's a new feature over here that shows you trend towards the bull direction. I will be Mango version 4, Mango Dynamic version 4 will have improvements towards strength, showing towards the downside as well. I wanted to go ahead and wrap it all up in one version, but I'd rather do more rollouts over time and be more iterative with the process. Why? Because I get your feedback on how to improve it on the next versions, right? Because this version, by the way, has been improved based on the feedback. Not so much the feedback, but the questions that I've received from you guys watching how many of you trade, right? There were certain things that I built into the older dynamic that suited more my trading style, but not so much how other people trade, right? So I wanted to include both now. So this is not only improved in terms of the algorithm efficiency, but also made it a lot easier for you guys to trade the directional trend. Okay, so it will be out soon. I did want to release it this weekend, but I needed a break this weekend too. I was really tired, so I did not get as much work done as I wanted to. So the 4-day dynamic not looking as good. We can go ahead and do a historical analysis of this, but I don't want to do that right now. So again, 4-day Kijun looking garbage. 4-day dynamic also not looking good. It is cutting Bitcoin a little bit more slack than the 4-day Kijun. I'd rather just be a little bit more cautious over here. Now let's go ahead and look at the oscillators, just like we did on Bitcoin. And this is where it gets really interesting for me. Okay, what are you guys seeing over here? Is there any bullish divergence? Because people tend to want to look for bullish divergences during bear moves, because hey, maybe things bounce, right? Because bullish divergence means hey, it's diverging. Potato Wet says still no settlement yet. Is there any reason XRP is pumping? There's no settlement yet. Maybe price knows something you don't. If XRP is really pumping, we can take a look in a bit. Okay, so Tan, this may perhaps lead into your question if you're still listening. So you can see the 4-day stochastics have really freaking bottomed out over here, right? For the longest time, we were living in the bullish territory, right? We were also consolidating. So when around did we start coming into the middle of the zone over here? Well, around the breakdown point. Now we saw the continuation. We've come all the way down over here. So the trend is aggressively towards the downside. But here's the thing. Historically, guys, whenever Bitcoin has come into this region on the 4-day stochastics, right? Guys, look at this. each time that and I don't say every single time, but it's a high probability that we do see at the very least a midterm rally out of these zones. Now again, you cannot trade this because you do not know how long this can go down for. This could go down low and low all the way down to picking 7, right? Its read right now is around 2018. So last time we were down here, by the way, was during the COVID dump, during this dump here, right? And we did rally, we did pull back again into the middle of the zone around 40ish to put in a higher low, but we went sideways, right? Even though price was going sideways, stochastics resetted itself to give us a more upside move and then had its continuation. Again, each time the stochastics have reset on the 4-day, you've gotten an upside move. Each time it's gotten this low, it's ended up lining up with our major breaks of consolidation before we see continuation. I believe it was during the 10K, did we? Yeah, okay, over here too, right? We had the break over here. We did come down all the way to 31, consolidated, had the China pump over there, and yeah, continuation. So over here you can see as well that each time the 4-day has come down this low to around the 25 zone, we have had rallies, whether it be midterm or bigger rally, right? So again, that's just something I wouldn't bet the house on, guys, but keep in mind that it is something to look out for. Now here's the thing, you have to use it the reverse way too. If however we do see a rally, by the way, seeing a rally here does not mean we're going to 100,000. No, it's just the first step. If we see a rally off this, but all we do is come to the middle of the zone over here and fail to break past the 50 zone, and it ends up being an opportunity to sell into, and we come back down over here, that would be the first initial signs of a bear market, right? Because that's a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, because that's what we'll be seeing, right? So that's what we're looking out for. Does that make sense? Okay, so now Tan, to answer your question, okay, we already talked about how we touched on how the 4-day stochastics are pretty much they're not bottoming out. That may come out the wrong way to you guys, and I want to be way careful using those kind of terms, right? There's been a lot of selling, okay? There's been a lot of selling, okay? A lot of funds have come in from people's wallets, a lot of leverage, blah blah. But now the question is there more selling left in the market? Okay, usually when you see these kind of wicks, right, is because people are taking profits on their trades, or one of two, or both. People are taking profits on trades, or people are coming in to buy the dips. Okay, if people have primarily just come in and bought the dips and people haven't taken that many profits, right, it just means that the sellers are going to start losing strength, and on the lower highs they are either going to be turning into people who, one, add to their position, right, add to their shorts, because at that point but at that point, if they haven't taken that many profits, they don't have that much ammo left in their guns to add aggressively to their positions, right? Or they're going to start closing out their shorts, and that's when you see these highs get extended, right, because they turn into buyers. So that's a question. Do we see more selling over here, right? We already saw a lot of selling. You don't want to be betting on more selling coming. That's why I'd rather bet that we range on the fact that we range, and then if we do see a breakdown, we can bet in the direction of selling. If we do see a break up, we can bet in the direction of the breakup, right? So with that, let's go on over to the monthly chart that Tan is talking about. All right, thus far, are we clear? Jesus, we've been talking about Bitcoin for this entire time. Alright guys, there's 200 of you here and there's only 93 likes. Come on. I don't short based on social media, man. So Okay, so Tan is more clear now. It does make more sense. Okay, cool. So we've so Tan, I think so. Tan, your question. Jesus, can you copy paste your question again? I'll try to find your question. I kind of know your question. I know the gist of the question. You essentially asked, what are your thoughts on this being one of Bitcoin's largest drawdowns, right? Well, you kind of know my answer now, right? You're seeing the stochastics pretty much bottom out. We've seen rallies from these stochastics bottoming out in the past. It's not 100%, but keep in mind, right? Go back to our foundational concepts that we talk about in the C program. Come to supply and demand economics, etc., etc. At the end of the day, what moves markets is an imbalance between buyers and sellers. Period. Okay. Period. And I have a gripe to pick with a lot of these on-chain analysts, people who are getting a little bit. I'm not talking about anyone you refer to, by the way. Like, for example, Willy Woo. He's great. He's a great on-chain analyst. So I'm not referring to people like him. There are some people who think they are superior because they're on-chain analysts versus technical analysts. But my opinion, by the way, is that price on the chart, and this is coming from a guy with a background in fundamentals, right? Price on the chart is more important than on-chain analysis. On-chain analysis is important. Yes, it is important. I'm not saying we should completely ignore it. It is especially important for the long-term moves, right? Long-term moves. But I can give you a case to show that on-chain analysis will not show what price, what the chart could do in the midterm moves aggressively. So that's a different topic. I don't even know why I'm mentioning it. But over here, right, you're seeing oh yeah, that's why I talked about imbalance between buyers and sellers, right? And you can have an imbalance between buyers and sellers without on-chain detecting it. You can have an imbalance on the sell side without on-chain detecting that coins are moving onto the exchanges. You could definitely have it, man. Think about it, right? Let's say I have only freaking 10 Bitcoin on the exchange, but I go ahead and 100x leverage that, right? Now suddenly there's no detection on-chain that coins have moved. Let's say I have the equivalent Bitcoin in my wallet, okay, as a temporary, as a hedge, or rather to back, okay, that Bitcoin is backing my short position, but I want to take that short position right now, and I'm not going to wait 10 minutes for block confirmations to reach the exchange, etc., etc. I want to take that position right now. So I initiate the transaction, maybe I put on the position first, and then I initiate the transaction. I put on the position to short, okay, with that huge amount of Bitcoin, with leverage, without that Bitcoin actually reaching, leaving my wallet yet. The positions put on, the charts are affected, and then I get the collateral onto my exchange to give me more margin, right? So I can put on the position first, I see the opportune time, and boom, right? So leverage kind of breaks on-chain and short-term to mid-term on-chain analysis at the very least. That being said, imbalance between sellers and buyers, that's what causes price to move, right? So as long as we have an imbalance on the sell side, well, price can go lower and lower and lower. But now we need to look for signs as to whether the sellers are beginning to get exhausted. Are the sellers beginning to say, hey, you know what, I don't have any ammo to push this down, and I don't even want to anymore, I want to be a buyer here. Sellers could flip, right, into buyers at certain levels. Maybe this is a good spot for them. So your read on, hey, this is the biggest drawdown, I think that's what he said, that Bitcoin has had. I don't even think that's true, by the way. Monthly drawdown from, let's go wick to wick, 49%. What about the COVID candle? That's 56%. What has that lined up with, by the way? The 4-day stochastics, and then we saw a rally. What about this candle? 45%, and then we see a rally, right? What I mean is, right, I'm not using this argument, by the way, but you could use your argument, and I don't think it's an argument that you have, by the way. I think you're just like stating it, right? So I don't mean to put you on on the opposite side of the debate when you're not trying to be, just asking a question. You could use that statement though to say, hey, wait a minute, each time we've had such a big sell-off, the sellers get exhausted, right? Because last time we had a sell-off like this, we rounded off over a period of time though, right? It took us a few weeks, like 6, 8, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We took like 20 weeks before we rounded off and moved towards the upside. So that's another way to look at it. Man, the way I look at this, guys, is that if Bitcoin actually spends months over here, let's say we spend 3 months over here and then break, holy shit, man, that to me as a long-term Bitcoin holder is like the best case scenario. Now if we go down, of course that's gonna be shitty, right? That's gonna be really shitty. But if we actually go into like a few months of sideways, I can't get greedy and just want Bitcoin to keep going up and up. Like, this was getting a little bit nuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green aggressive candles towards the upside without any pullback whatsoever. Well, trends don't move like that, right, forever. If we kept going like that, it was more likely that we stop at 100,000 and actually go into a bear market than with this situation. With this situation, it is there's more of a chance now that we get to 250,000 than without this. That makes sense, right? Because what are we doing? We may actually put in a trend, a consolidation move and break on the monthly time frame. Because remember, what do we look for? And we talked about this during 10K. We are looking at this and this, right? Ascending triangle and symmetrical triangle combination. Something we play on the lower time frames as well. One for trades on the theme actually that we took like this. Got the break, but we're looking for bull flag, break again, right? It's something we look for on all time frames. Same thing here. All right, so now we can switch on over to Cardano because Fukao, is that you, Fukao? The Fukao from Seed? It's been a while, bud. All he says, Rice Fun says, were you listening to Sean? He literally explained why price moves up and down. People don't listen, man. I think out of the 200 people in here, I think there's maybe 15 people who actually listen. Oh, it is you. How are you, man? How are you? Good to see you. No way Bitcoin is going to 250,000 this year. Doesn't matter if it's this year or next year. We just trade the markets in the meantime, right? In the interim, or even like in 2 years from now. Jesus Christ, if Bitcoin goes to 250K in 2 years from now, that's ridiculous, man. Holy shit. Okay, just think about the investment you guys got to put into on real estate, on your houses, and people are willing to wait 10 years for that. Oh, it's a long-term investment. I don't care what it does in the interim. But oh, God forbid Bitcoin not go to 200,000 this year or next year. Like, if you tell people Bitcoin's gonna go to 200,000 in 5 years, like, guaranteed, right? Guaranteed. Give them 100% guarantee. It's not good enough for them in crypto because Cardano can do way more in that time. Let's do Cardano holding very strong, says our son. Man, Cardano, man, I don't know what's up with Cardano, but holy shit. It's actually looking really good. It's I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's just a little bit difficult to be overall bearish on the market when you see this, right? But that being said, there are things to be concerned about because of what Bitcoin's doing, right? You can't just get super bullish either. So let's go Cardano. How many of you guys remember what we were looking for on what we discussed on our last stream? I did again, like, Cardano surprised me yet again. Especially with Bitcoin doing what it's doing, right? We were looking for Cardano to hold its 2-day structure above this level over here, right? It kept holding that level. It kept holding a level. It has not broken down its key 2-day levels. It's not even broken down its key 2-day levels. Forget the weekly, right? The weekly is holding just fine, but the 2-day is holding really well as well. The mid time frames are holding well, right? This structure, you know how we discussed, right? Bitcoin has the structure that broke into, right? It broke out of first and then broke back into, so we're ranging. Well, Cardano's not doing that because Cardano did not break into its structure. Cardano held the top of the structure as support, and it keeps getting held. It keeps getting held over here. Now, there was one thing I was looking for Cardano to do last week, which it did not do, which was, let me just come down here. Jesus Christ. All right. I was looking for Cardano to actually close the weekly above this level over here at around $1.64, $1.65, right? There's a red zone that I have marked over here. You guys can see if you go on over to the low time frames, the 4-hour time frame as well, you can see that it has been a trouble area for Cardano. We have been distributing on the lower time frames around there, which is why I'm being a little bit more cautious before I get aggressive on any bull trades on Cardano, right? Why? Because this level, this zone over here has been used as a distributory zone. You can see that each time we've broken above it, it's been sold into. It's been sold into over here, broke back underneath it. Over here, we put in a proper descending triangle, sold into, broke back underneath it. Now again, looks like a trap there, broke back underneath it, even though, like, each time you're putting in a lower high, guys, on the high time frames, even though the lower time frames are coming in and putting in nice breaks of that level, the high time frames are rejecting it. This is where you're seeing the high time frames step in and say no, 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 right? Boom. So that's what you want to look out for Cardano. That being said, the fact that it's already back to testing this weekly structure over here is looking really, really good. I really like that. I really like that. So Cardano, while not super bullish just yet, it never really got that bad to begin with, right? Yes, it had a massive wick towards the downside here, but it held its mid time frame levels. So let's go ahead and just remove this. What does this look like to you? It's holding its weekly uptrend, right? Now again, to me, I'm a lot more tighter on where I have my high low. To me, it's there, right? Again, some people might say here, I don't think so. You can't look at that as a high low. This entire area here is a high low to me. So it loses that weekly uptrend is done, but it looks like it wants to defend it. Let's see though. Let's see. Does it make sense to you guys? Thanks again for the stream again. Thanks for the stream again, boss. Cheers. Was nice having you, Ollie. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Remember our targets last year on 400,000. Yeah, man. Still on track for that. I need some more time to accumulate Bitcoin before moves to 200,000. That's the right mentality. So that way, if it's a bear market or bull market, you don't care. You're always happy, right? Thank you very much, Ollie, for modding the stream. Appreciate it. Where's Old Man, by the way? He's not here. Tell him I'm looking for him. I'll be wrapping up the stream soon anyways, guys. We're already 1 hour 25 minutes into the stream. I don't want the streams to get too long because I get too exhausted to do anything else for the rest of the day. Sean, take a look at CTSI. I think it's painting something like Cardano. Let's go ahead and take a look at CTSI for Carl. Too much. Like you like this, man? Kinda, yeah. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I stopped trading CDSI a while ago. Like I traded for just a tad bit. It just it don't like these kind of wicks, man. I see what you're saying, because on the weekly high low move, yeah. So what I'd be looking for CTSI to do for Kao is for to at least start closing half of. So currently you can essentially mark out. Where's my measurement tool? You can mark out these candles right here. Okay, there you go. So you wanted to close about 21,051 Satoshi. 2,151 Satoshi. 2,151 Satoshi. Starts getting above there, then you can start looking for upside. But seems like there's really low liquidity on this asset. Right, so above this range would be nice. There's not enough history on this asset either. It's trending though. It's trending on the weekly time frame. Not so much on the daily. Lower highs. So be careful with that. How about 2 day? So let's say the 2-day closes here, man. I would not like that. But again, this is very choppy. I would not trade that chart. Hey Jack, you're very welcome. What's Bitcoin doing now in the low time frames? 36,000. There we go. Bitcoin was at 34,000, Leon, like literally all weekend, man. It literally just got off 34,000. Alright, man. See ya, Mark. I'll see you on the private seed chat, and yeah. Thank you for joining the stream. Alright, guys. I'll be wrapping up the stream too. The stream too. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We talked about a lot of important things. Please go ahead and share today's video with your friends who need this kind of understanding of how markets move and how structures are important in bull and bear markets, especially, right? If we are ending the bull market, we don't know, right? We are looking for more signs. There are certain things that we need to look out for. It's not like a switch, right? It's not like boom, it's over. The bull market's over, we're bear market territory. No, it takes time to formulate, and we'll be discussing more of these ideas, what to look out for, right? How bears start deciding to be bears, right? How we all together decide, you know what, we're going to be long-term bearish until things switch around, right? And then once things switch around, we switch to bullish, right? These kind of things we'll be discussing throughout the next few streams, because I believe that the people who are in here today are people interested in education. D1 Blade says, could you check out MWAT, UBX, and Band? It's too late in the stream, D1, for me to be looking at all of those. I'll look at one of them for you. Let's say you can look at Band, I guess. Something I did trade, something I made a killing on, actually. So Band Bitcoin and Band USD. I'll look at both the pairings. So ooh, Band. Ooh, that's a nice candle. Not much volume on that, but this is daily, so yeah, this is broke. Let's look at a fresh chart though. All these horizontals are probably outdated now. It literally never got back to the levels that we traded at. Damn. Had that run all the way till there. Like, it's crazy because all the coins that I traded back then never got back to the levels. Actually, no, that's not true. VeChain got back there and higher. Made new highs, actually, right, on Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin pairing. But for example, Band, Chainlink, SXP too. SXP was a huge winner for us back then in this period. Like we got some massive Bitcoin wins against the Bitcoin pairing, right? So what I mean is all coins against this Bitcoin. But over here sitting on support, man. So over here you have long-term support at around 16,568 Satoshi. Your range bound though between that level and around here, like you can mark out a zone here. This entire thing is a zone of resistance. Right, so until it breaks back above the zone over here at 35,409 Satoshi, let's say 36,000 Satoshi, I wouldn't be looking for any upside. It's just range bound. You could trade the ranges, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Like this one has been, if what if it breaks down again over here, right, towards the downside, you've got to worry about that too, because I don't think so. I honestly don't think that's what it's doing, because if it were to sell off, it would have sold off already, like over here, and we would have been seeing something like that. But this is taking a bit too long. This looks more like accumulation to me. So maybe it's ready for a run over the long period, so keep an eye out for that. It starts, so why risk it, right? You can be a buyer here, accumulate here, and then if you break down, exit. Just exit that position, accumulate. What I would do is accumulate. Let's say I'm looking for like a big win on Band because I know something on the fundamentals that nobody knows, and I'm not like I'm not one of those idiots who are just swayed by the community, thinking that, you know, I'll hold. I actually know something that nobody else knows, right? I start accumulating a little bit because I need to be able to exit if it breaks without taking too much of a loss, right? Because if this level breaks, it's going to go down fast and hard, all the way down to 9,771 Satoshi. So I'll be doing it very cautiously just to get an edge on when I really want to buy, which is over here. I'd be a strong buy over here. Over here, I'll be looking for the uptrend, right? Eventually to around 131,111 Satoshi. But has work to do, man. Band USD. Looking a little bit better, but again, the chart's messy. I don't know. I would look at the Bitcoin pairing. Until the Bitcoin pairing starts looking good, the chart's irrelevant. Straight Bitcoin, right? Bonds looking kind of weak on the 1 day. Cross bearish too. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, man. You'd rather me check out UBX? Let's go. I'll look at UBX quickly for you. Not good. No. This is a downtrend, man. This has just been selling off, like, period, since it started, right? Liquidity hunt here. Boom, 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 boom. This is so ugly. You see this move over here, took out the high, no continuation whatsoever. Instead, just got aggressively sold into. Yeah, this is really bad. What is this? A new coin, I believe. BTC. Let's cut us some slack and say that I came out at the wrong time, but I can't see it against Bitcoin. So yeah, this is really bad, man. What is this? Is it you're looking for this to probably reverse off this region over here, maybe, right? Like that, I guess. But next hope is like you draw horizontal here. Oh, I love the song. Ascending triangle and then break. This needs to reverse because don't touch this, in my opinion, until I wouldn't touch this. Mango traders do not touch this until it starts reversing. The downtrend. You sell into this. Like if I could short this, I'd short this. Like this over here, man. That was really bad. Like that's if I saw that and I was trading this, I'd dump my entire bag. I'd dump it all. I'd dump it fast. You can see someone did that here. It moved. There's a lot of volume on those cells too, man. Look at that. I mean, it could just... The thing is, right, when I give you guys this advice, you guys need to understand that this could reverse over here, right? But to me, as a trend trader, it wouldn't matter. I only like to buy when it does reverse. We don't bottom catch. So if you guys are bag holding, it gets very, very delicate to have these conversations because I'm bearish on these things and you guys may end up selling at the bottom. But the thing is, if you have been watching Mango, you would never end up in that situation where you're holding a position over there. It's Ubix network here. All right, let's look at the bond market to wrap up. That's really important because you guys notice when I started looking at the bond market and when we started actually dumping, like when Bitcoin gave up everything, because that was around the time I started getting worried about this, man. Started getting worried about this not looking good. But it's begun to look. I was worried over here. I was far more worried over here than I'm over here, right? This is beginning to look better for equity bulls and Bitcoin bulls, for that matter. So we want to see this break down again now. Break 155, holding support at 155, of course. If it does start breaking candles, holding weekly candles underneath 155, that'd be fantastic, because then we'd be looking for a move all the way down to 1.12, right? So if we see that, man, if you see that, we're going to see equities rally, we're going to see Bitcoin rally. It's going to be great. But we don't see that. We start seeing this rally over here. Now the Fed is in a really, really tough situation. I don't know what they're going to do, because the biggest threat towards a bear market right now, is actually the Fed pulling the plug and saying, hey, you know what, inflation is becoming a problem. And you guys see how now, by the way, you're seeing all over the news, inflation, expectations are becoming a problem. People, it's a new buzz, right? So it's making me think that, you know what, it's done. I think we're going to actually break down over here. Because the time to have been worrying about inflation was over here, because the market was actually pricing it in, and now the market seems to be not demanding that much anymore. They're actually beginning to buy those bonds. So I don't know. Maybe this is good enough for them, right? Maybe they're looking at the 1.73-ish region, 1.6 region as, you know what, that's pricing in inflation enough. Relatively, of course. Oh my god. This is so manipulated, man. Crazy. But either way, right? Like, I don't understand. There's something I'm not understanding with how the Fed could even manage to deal with those rates going up over there. So I need to educate myself a lot more. It's clearly not it's clearly something I'm missing. Or maybe I'm right. Maybe they can't, and maybe we see this come down. Goldman Sachs. You mean Goldman Sachs report also helps. Dawson Halleck says you turned into a holder this week. I hope it's not on all coins, man. That can get scary. But some of them are doing well. MW8 last one promise. Don't do that, man. Like, don't throw $2 at me like chump change and be like last one promise. Like, no, I'm not gonna. Sorry, man. I have the nerve to turn off the super chat thingy. I'll do Matic tomorrow, guys, or day after tomorrow. I really don't want to look at any more altcoin charts. You know, I don't know why I'm such a nice guy. Like, this is garbage, dude. Restart energy. I mean, it broke up over here, to be honest. Like, let's say it didn't do this. Something's up over here, right? Resistance. It didn't hold. It didn't hold. Unfortunately, it did not hold this level here. What is this? It's been this one might be, it's not enough information, but let's say it does this. You won't be a buyer here, above here, but rounded formation and wants to do something over here. Something might be up over here. I'd keep an eye on it. This is against Bitcoin too. Above here would be better. I don't know how you guys trade these coins. Why do you guys want to trade these kind of coins, man? Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is something interesting here on the daily. Potential ascending triangle. Yeah, I won't do this. Like, don't do that again, though, eh? Not fair to other people. And we can go look at Matic quickly. Matic looks good. Again, you guys know why I'm cautious on Matic, right? It was because of this. I was looking for the weekly to close about there. I was a little bit cautious over there, but you're looking for the high low, so perhaps it's the high low. If we can now take out this high over here, it's not looking good, right? So now just be patient, guys. Just be patient, because what you need to defend against is the initial signs of a bear market, right? The initial signs of a long-term downtrend, and this over here could be that dead cat bounce that people talk about in Bitcoin, which does not have a dead cat bounce. This could be a dead cat bounce, but we'll see now. If we take out this low over here, bad. If we go up over here, that's if we take out this high over here, it's gonna look good. It's a good song. Alright, guys, with that, I'll be wrapping up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name's Sean Dexter. You guys know my name. Hit the like if you guys haven't yet. Show Mango some love. Hey Sean, can you please check out XRP, says Raja. Raja, since it's you. So this was the weekly structure I was looking for to break above. Now it's done something that's kind of annoying. It's come and closed right underneath it, right? It didn't close above it, and now it wants to see continuation. So you have to wait an entire week before you get any information on this one. The daily time frame might be putting in an ascending triangle. So if you do see a break of this daily structure over here, on Since you're looking at this, if this does break towards the upside, well, you're going to see this take back the M-like formation that it did break down, because you see this M-like formation, right? It did break down. Didn't see any continuation, because remember, on the breakdown, I was pretty impressed with XRP. XRP did not dump as much as I would have expected to, considering how ugly the M was. That's why I was like, wait a minute, XRP, keep an eye on it. But over here now, it did make it easy. It could have made it easy for us on the weekly, but it did not. So over here on the daily, I'll be looking for this ascending triangle to break towards the upside, retake this M structure, because if it does, well, you're back in this range between 168 and around $1, right? Then, well, you're back in the range. Then after that, again, you can't get too bullish until you... The thing is, that's still a 60% range that you could trade, right? Good range trades we had. We can't trend trade this until it breaks around 168, 178. Get it? So if this, then that. Needs to first break into the dollar range. 2 daily candles at the very least. You want to be aggressive. Weekly breaking in there would be a lot better. And eventually only after $2, or rather $2. Like weekly above $1.60 would be fine. I haven't looked at that though, Mark. I can't really I've never looked at that, so I can't really help you with that. If you back tested it, man, post some screenshots and see it. It'd be interesting to see that. Roger says thank you, Sean. Mark says he'll post to see it. All right, so with that, we will be calling it the end of the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. Share it with your friends, share it with your mom, share it with your dad, share it with everyone you know. Hit the like, hit the I was gonna say hit the subscribe, hit the dislike, do something. Don't be lazy. Until the next one, do it the mango way. Do it the stress-free way. Do it the easy way. Ciao.
Where's the sense in that? I promise I'm not trying to make your life harder. I'll return to where we were. But I will go down with this shit, and I won't put my hands up and surrender. There will be no white flag above my door. Well, I'm in love and always will be. I know I left too much mess and destruction